Hello students, my name is Dr. P. Shashikiran. I am working as lecturer in Botany at SKP Government Degree College, Guntakal. Today we'll be discussing about cell wall, its structure and functions. So cell wall, you can say it is the outermost layer of it is a wall-like structure that surrounds the total protoplasm inside a eukaryotic cell. So objectives of today's class are cell wall, its structure, cell wall, its composition, cell wall and its functions. So cell wall was first discovered by Robert Hooke in the year 1665. So here in this picture you can see this is a cross section of a eukaryotic cell where the outermost layer here, so this is the cell wall. Inside this cell you can see the nucleus, mitochondria, cytoplasm, chloroplast, vacuole. So there are so many other cell organelles present. So this total protoplasm comprising of the nucleus and other cell organelles is surrounded by a cell wall. So cell wall composition, if you see the plant's cell wall, it is made up of cellulose, a polysaccharide. So poly means many and saccharide means sugars. So cellulose is the most abundant carbohydrate you can find on earth, which are used in the manufacture of clothes, fiber, paper and so on. Second one is the bacterial cell wall, which is made up of murine peptidoglycans. So murines are nothing but sugar plus amino acids, whereas in mycoplasma you don't find any cell wall. So mycoplasmas lack a cell wall. Third one is the fungal cell wall. So in fungi the cell wall is primarily made up of chitin, which is a nitrogenous polysaccharide. So these are few samples where the cell wall materials are differing. If you see in case of plants, it is primarily made up of cellulose, whereas a bacterial cell wall is made up of murine, and a fungal cell wall is made up of a hard material that is chitin. Structure of plant cell wall. Plant cell wall is primarily made up of three layers. One is the primary cell wall, another one is the middle lamella, and the third one is the secondary cell wall. So primary cell wall, you can say that these are made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, polysaccharides and pectin. Whereas the middle lamellae, so here in this picture you can see the outermost layer, this is the primary wall, primary cell wall. And then comes the secondary wall here, the secondary wall. So before secondary wall, the middle lamellae is there. So middle lamellae, it is made up of pectin, which is sticky in nature, or you can say it is sticky polysaccharide, just as if you see a jam or jelly, which are gel sort of thing, that sort of nature is present in middle lamellae. That's how this middle lamellae primary function is. It attaches the cells, so it acts as a cement sort of thing which is used for building a wall in between bricks. Same way, this this middle lamellae acts as a cementing layer between the cell walls of adjacent cells. So another one is the secondary wall, which is made up of lignin, suberin, wax, tannins, calcium carbonate, and so on, which are phenolic polymers, which is found in trached cells fibers, whereas these trached cells and fibers are further classified into three layers, that is the S1 layer, S2 layer, and S3 layer. S1 layer is the outermost layer, S2 layer is the middle layer, and S3 is the inner layer. So, in addition to all these structures, the that is the primary wall, secondary wall, and middle lamella, you find some pore sort of thing in between these cell walls, lying here and there inside a cell wall, so that those small pores or holes are nothing but channels of that are meant for passage of ions and metabolites and other sort of materials from one cell to another cell. So these holes are primarily known as plasmodesmata. So generally the cell wall material are generally distributed evenly, but in some cases what happens here is the thickening of cell wall occurs. In some cases, the trachary elements, the cell wall materials are localized at a certain areas on the cell wall and show special patterns like the here in below you can see this in this picture. You can find five different types of cell wall thickenings. One is the annual, second one is the spiral, third is scalariform, fourth one is reticulate, fifth one is pitted. So the annual form is the nothing but it is in the form of rings. So here you can see this here. So all these are ring-like structures you can see here, which are present in the cell wall, or you can say annuals. Second one is the spiral sort of thing, which is the form of spirals or spring-like manner. Here you can see it. So this one is the spiral, where you can see like a spring the thickenings are distributed. Whereas the third one is the scalariform in this one. So here you can see this one is the scalariform. So all these three are the examples of spiral thickenings, and the scalariform thickenings are nothing but they are in the form of ladder like manner. So here you can see just as a ladder is there, like that the steps are present. So uneven thickenings are distributed in this manner, ladder like manner, in this scalariform. And the fourth one is the reticulate thickenings, which are in the form of irregular network. So here, this one is the reticulate sort of wall thickenings, where the thickenings are not in a particular fashion or manner. They are just irregularly as a network sort of thing. They are distributed. And the last one is the pitted. So here the fifth one is the pitted sort of thing, thickenings. These are formed in the form of small pits like structures you can see observe here. So there are again two types of pits you can see in these pitted form of thickenings. One is the simple pit, where it is evenly shaped round structures in the cell wall. Another one is the bordered pits. Here you can see the bordered pits are a bit thick in nature. So these are nothing but bordered pits are just swellings that are found in the cell wall, and that's why they look a bit swollen structures surrounded by thickenings. So that's why it looks like a border sort of thing. That's why these are called bordered pits. And when compared to simple pits, which are just simple in nature, and the thickening is not that much when compared to the bordered pits. Coming down to the functions of cell wall, the first one is that they determine the morphology, growth, and development of plant cells. So they provide a particular shape to the plant cell. At the same time, they determine the growth and development of plant cells. Second one is they protect the protoplasm and from invasion of pathogens like the virus, bacteria, and fungus. So they help in the protection of the protoplasm, that is the inner cell organelles also. Third one is they are rigid in nature. So these are rigid in nature, rigid structures, and thus help the plant in withstanding the gravitational forces and other sort of forces, physical forces that arise. That is, the plant remains intact, and just because of the rigid nature that has been provided by the cell wall to the plant structures, plant parts. They are involved in the transport of materials and metabolites into and outside of the cell. So, as we discussed earlier, that there are small channels or pores, holes present in the cell wall, which act as a channel for the passage of either ions, metabolites, or other waste material, either from outside to inside the cell or inside from to outside the cell, vice versa. The last one is they withstand the turgor pressure which develop within the cells due to high osmotic pressure. So whenever there is a lot of inflow of water is there, then the cell becomes turgid, and the whatever pressure has been that is created, that can be withstand by the cell wall because of its flexible nature. So these are the few important functions of a cell wall. So to summarize, we have discussed about the what do you mean by a cell wall, and how is it its structure, and what are the different components of a cell wall, that is the secondary cell wall, primary cell wall, secondary cell wall, the middle lamellae, and we saw the composition of different layers, that is composition of the cell wall, primary composition of the primary, secondary, and middle lamellae layers. Along with that, we saw the functions of the cell wall. So this is all about a cell wall. Thank you.